And senior editor at The Federalist, Molly Hemingway. Molly, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. First off, your observation on Hillary Clinton's interview last night. Well,
she's told us that she was going to try and humanize herself, and this is clearly that attempt. But it's something she's been doing for years, and it hasn't actually worked very well for her.
So you don't think the softer side will work, is what you're saying?
I mean, it's something she tried to roll out in 2008, and even as First Lady. The problem is, though, that she's not addressing the actual fundamental underlying problem, which is that people have a hard time trusting her, believing that she's truth teller.
Yeah, but Dagen, she said she was going to be more transparent. She said she was sorry.
She did use the S word, which was a little bit surprising because I think a day prior or 2 days prior,
she wasn't
going to apologize. Here's the problem, that now that she wants to appear more human, softer, humorous, people won't believe it because that's not the person that they've seen before. So now it looks like she's acting.
Whether that's political strategy.
Oh, please,
whether
you
that's real or
guys
not.
are on television all the time. You know more about this stuff than any of the viewers, including myself. People know who she is. They know who you are. They know who you are.
That's true, yeah.
And you can't fool them anymore after 25 years. She's been around for 20. She's been on. They know who she is.
Yeah. That's true, Molly. I guess that's the point that you were just making. So what do you think? How does this play out? I mean, this email server is sort of masking any other messages she's trying to communicate.
Well, what's interesting is everyone keeps saying that she apologized, and I don't think that's actually true. She didn't even mention the email server, the private email server that she set up. She didn't mention that she wiped it clean. She didn't mention that she deleted all the evidence of it, and she gave this very Clintonian apology. She said, "Well, nothing was marked confidential or classified." This is such a Clintonian defense. It's like it depends on what the meaning of is, or no controlling legal authority, and it's exactly what we're used to hearing from Clintons and what we don't like to hear from them.
It's like, what is a sexual encounter anyway? No, I think you make a really good point, Molly, because that is true. She said she was sorry, but no follow up in terms of, well, why did you wipe it clean?
Right. This campaign doesn't think that this is a big deal. They do not believe for 1 second that it will hurt her chances in winning the nomination and winning the presidency. They don't believe it.
And her supporters don't either, Dagen. Her supporters think this is not a big deal.
But Bernie Sanders is really moving up in the polls. So clearly something is hurting her, even among Democratic voters. Joe Biden has not declared yet. Watch if he does, what happens to her poll numbers. But they don't think it's a problem. I got one thing to say, Fifth Amendment. You have a guy who was on her payroll, who was running her server, who is pleading the Fifth and not talking to FBI investigators. Yeah. She talked about this is not a criminal investigation. Not yet. If they choose to give him immunity, look out below.
Yeah, it's a great point. Molly, how would you assess the field, broadly speaking, including Hillary, Donald Trump, and the rest?
Yeah, I don't think anyone thought in the summer of 2015 that Hillary would be this vulnerable, but I mean, Bernie Sanders has lapped her. Joe Biden is a tremendous threat, and he hasn't even entered the race. So I think everything's up in the air, and people are trying to express their anger and disappointment with the field as such, and that explains a lot about Trump's success, too.
Yeah, for sure. Really resonating. Molly, thank you. Appreciate your insights. Molly Hemingway, The Federalist, senior editor. Coming up next.